My name is Deena Fox, and I am with Rossetti Architects. We are a multidisciplinary architecture firm headquartered here in Southeast Michigan, Metro Detroit. And we are tremendous advocates of transit-oriented development, transit-oriented design. And although we haven't really had the opportunity to work on projects in that sector here in Michigan lately, we've actually had the opportunity to work on some phenomenal projects in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, including Edmonton and Denver, Metropolitan Gardens out in Denver. But we really have a lot of hope and vision for what can happen here in this area. So just to close out our little window about Michigan, Southeast Michigan, I was asked to say a few words about Connect and Prosper, which is really an effort that's being shepherded, if you will, by SMART and Sue's team. So if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I wanted to just read to you the description of what we're trying to do in brief for a couple of reasons. One is it's a little bit of a mouthful, and the other is that some great minds worked on this, and I don't want that effort to go to waste. Connect and Prosper is a forum that brings together transportation, business, economic, and community leaders from across the region to connect and accelerate sustainable transportation and accessibility initiatives region-wide, and to help rekindle Southeast Michigan's role as a major center of transportation innovation and business opportunity. I really appreciate the things that Dave and Robert Polk and a few others have shared just about the legacy that is represented here in Southeast Michigan as it relates to transportation. I think there's no question that we're sort of at a seminal moment for this part of the country, and it's nice to look at or think about ways, look at models from other parts of the country that demonstrate progressive thinking or not necessarily being bound by convention and tradition in terms of where to go next with transit and transportation. There's some great lessons for us to learn here. One of the things that we've been meeting as Connect and Prosper for the better part of a year. We've had a series of meetings, both in person and virtual. And really what we've been trying to do is look at interrelationships between policies, funding and investment, and planning. We've been trying to look at opportunities for connectivity or intersection between some of these various initiatives that are taking place. So for example, the M1 Rail Initiative, which is a major step forward for the region. There's also another rail project that has been underway through the Detroit Department of Transportation. Ann Arbor's Get Downtown. These are just a few examples. There are many, many others, but these are just a few examples of opportunities where we can look for connections and ways that the folks working on those individual projects can actually collaborate. So that's really what Connect and Prosper has been focused on trying to do, is to surface all of these efforts and allow people to really interact with one another. We held a great meeting in June, and sort of the part two of that is happening at this conference here. So at that meeting, I just wanted to mention a couple of key ideas that were outcomes from that meeting to give you a little bit, for those of us who have not been involved with Connect and Prosper until now, to give a taste of what we hope will continue to happen moving forward. One idea was just the notion of there have been exercises conducted to do mapping of some of the projects, as I mentioned, but the notion of mapping non-physical aspects. So, for example, looking at incentives or disincentives, looking at regulatory issues, obstacles and barriers that maybe need to be overcome depending on the nature of a given project is something that we can actually spend some time on. We've also talked about changing vocabulary, so talking about sustainability with respect to transportation as an investment rather than as a cost. And so some of these may be just sort of fundamental notions, but for us, they're not necessarily things that we've talked about collaboratively and collectively within the region. So we're just looking to open up opportunities to do that. So what is next for Connect and Prosper? I'm very happy to be able to say that next is lunch for all of you and for all of us for Connect and Prosper. We're actually having a special session, and I just want to put out a small plug for those who either are from this region or interested in talking about this region, sharing ideas about the region. We'll be meeting in the Vandenberg room just to allow specifically for that to happen. I think that's right, Sue. I think that's the... Okay. Northwest corner of the Hussey room. So immediately following this for lunch, please feel welcome to join us for that. And lastly, I just want to mention, I do feel that Detroit, metropolitan Detroit and Southeast Michigan, we're really, despite all of the obstacles that have been facing us, I feel it's really poised for change. We're really at a pivotal point, I think, socially and economically. There are significant equity issues and access issues with respect to transit in Metro Detroit, as some have referenced. And it's just been a pleasure to hear from all of you who have shared about your projects, both in other cities in the U.S. and also other cities around the world. Phenomenal models and just great hopeful examples for us to be able to take some great lessons from. So thank you.